I have not found thy works perfect before the Most High. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim, Hawashai Bashim, Wakakwadash. And I'm going to make this super easy. What I did was I put in the keyword perfect, and that pops up. Oh, this is from the precept, Revelation 3, verse 2. And we spoke about that yesterday. Revelation 2 and Revelation 3 speaks about the Lord coming through the person, through John the Revelator, John the Apostle, concerning the 7 churches of Asia Minor getting their houses in order. So they all did good things, but they were off on certain things. So the Most High is about perfection. So if they didn't get their houses, their churches, the 7 major churches, in order, that the Most High was going to cut them off. So you can read that in Revelation 2 and Revelation 3. It says here, Revelation 3, verse 2, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect for the Most High. When you teach these scriptures, you have to teach them in perfection. You can't play with the scriptures. Anyway, to show you that the IUIC watches our videos and they'll do counters. And this individual right here went way off, which, you know, he received, I would think he received the approval from the top leaders, which did going off. Most High is seeking for perfection, man. This is not a game. You know, this is not a compromise. The Most High does not compromise. Either you teach the truth correctly, 100%, or you don't have the truth. It's very simple. So this individual right here, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. It came up, you know, the video, obviously it came up at the videos that we did recently about the long hair thing, which we broke it down completely perfectly. And when you go to 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, Paul, he's cursing him out. You know, in 1 Corinthians, I'm gonna try not to make this long because I mostly want responses out of this. And basically, the IUIC is out there naked. So we see their nakedness because they're not following the scriptures. And instead of following the scriptures, they're playing with words to make them seem that they're telling the truth. And this man right here, although he's a good teacher, I've seen him, a lot of good teachers in IUIC. If you run into IUIC, they're still brothers. You know, you salute them. You might have a few words or you might not have a few words. But when Israel gets together, even dealing with the law, you're supposed to talk about the law. You're supposed to discuss the law. What is that? Let me open up another tab. I don't want to mess with these tabs here. Let me do this. Let me open up another blue letter tab. I believe it's Deuteronomy 4. What I want. Bear with me for a minute. I want to get right to the point. not it. You know what? Bear with me for a minute. I'm sorry. I'll start from the first verse. It says, Israel urged to obey Most High's laws. Now, therefore, brother, hearken, O Yasha'Allah, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh, the Most High, our fathers, give you, or giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you. And the IUIC is clearly adding to the word. They're playing with the word, and you'll see. But you know who it works on? It works on is simple. See, that couldn't work if you had a number of GMS guys, top level GMS guys, which are all of them top level, top shelf. If we were in there, their hands would be going up, and the main teacher up there would have, and we would ask some questions. See what he's got before him. Let me come back over here. And like I said, if you run into an individual from IUIC, salute him. Shalom, how you doing? You know, you might have a friendly discussion with the scriptures, you know, because at the end of the day, they're our brothers, but guess what? They're going off. What is that, Galatians 5? Let me go to that real quick. Open up, okay, this is Christian order. See, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai set up the Apostle Paul. Anything that comes out of the Apostle Paul's mouth is the gospel. That's why it's contained in the book. Anything that you read about the Apostle Paul is gospel. Because who did the Apostle Paul come up under the apostles, the rest of the 12 apostles? No, he got with them. He got with Peter. I would say that because he got with the apostles, but Peter is a main figurehead. He got with him the first time he got with him was 3 years after. So what was he doing 3 years from the time that he got knocked off the horse? And he was converted. He was teaching. And who was giving him these revelations? The Lord. That's in the scriptures. The Lord came to him. The Lord supped with him. That's why the Apostle Paul spoke highly of, Apostle Peter spoke highly of him in 1 Peter chapter 3. And he said some of the letters are hard to be understood. Another precept, somebody can put, I'm not going to go to it. It says his letters are weighty. Let me see if I can find that. Let's hope I can spell that. Weighty. Okay, I think I spelled it right. Let's see. Okay, Proverbs 27, verse 3. A stone is heavy and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Yeah, when you deal with a fool, you get a headache trying to talk to you. You know what you do with a fool? You perceive a man to be a fool, you get away from him. That's a whole nother subject. So this is what I wanted. 2 Corinthians 10. For his letters are weighty, say they are weight. For his letters say they are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech contemptible. So, you know, the Apostle Paul wasn't a great orator, and he didn't look like Ronnie Coleman. Okay. but the words that came out of his mouth were powerful words, heavy words. Let me see. Let me click on that so I can get in context. He probably had like a limp or something because he had the thorn in his side. As Paul describes himself. Yep, Paul describes himself. Now I, Paul, myself, beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of the Messiah, who in presence am base among you, but being absent am bold towards you. So when Paul was writing these letters, they figured, you know, a 7'2" guy with muscles on top of muscles because of his writing style, straight to the point. So when they saw him, he was somewhat of a frail man. And he was sickly too, the thorn, remember. But let's go to 2 Peter 3. This is why we say we have 100%. Let me see. The coming day of Yahweh. This proves right here that Peter is a prophet, apostle and a prophet, because he prophesied. He saw the destruction of Babylon, new heaven and new earth. So the apostles were also prophets, so you can understand. Okay, it says here, I'm a little all over the place. I didn't set up any specific scriptures. I'm just going with the Spirit. And sometimes that's the best way to go. It says 2 Peter 3 verse 14, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, what things are you looking for? This destruction. Even more so now than back then. Because they were looking forward to come over 2,000 years ago. That's why the Apostle Paul had to straighten them out. There must be a falling away first, you know, that man of sin being revealed. The, what do you call it? I'm not going to go all through it, but all of them, you know, made reference to the destruction, the coming destruction, but they didn't understand that they had to die, come back, go into slavery, come back. They had to come back and forth from the spiritual realm to the physical realm, which is reincarnation. Sakari says regeneration. Regeneration is the same as reincarnation. It's just a slightly different way of saying it. Reincarnation is regeneration. Keywords, gene, which is what? The seed that turns into flesh. I was telling the apostles and the bishop in the car, they were talking about eggs. And I said, you know what an egg is? An egg is an aborted chicken. You know, if the egg and the yolk, the white and the yolk, what to stay, you incubate the egg. You know, the mother laid on the egg, the warmth, and it develops. That egg white and the egg yolk turns into a baby chick. So you can understand. So where did that yolk and that white come from? The form of the egg, it came from the man. The male chicken, the rooster, you know, jumping on the so-called woman, which is a chicken, right? And the same thing happens with a man and a woman, with any animal. The seed forms into that thing. The male rooster, which is a male chicken, so you can understand. If he lays with a female chicken, what is produced? A baby chick, and it either grows up as a chicken or a rooster. So that's a gene. That egg right there starts off as a gene, which turns into flesh, which the seed is nothing but protein. What's in your sperm? Protein. What happens to it if it goes into a woman that's able to give birth? It forms in her womb. All she is an incubator and a nourisher. Only a man can bring back a child, but they have to use the woman's plumbing, so to speak. So that's flesh. Carne, reincarnation. Carne means flesh. Gene also means flesh. So you can use the word regeneration or reincarnation. It's the same thing. It says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, meaning the destruction, and it says we are commanded to always speak about that. That's why we're always doing videos about the MOTB, which IUIC is clearly going off because of the pride of the leadership of the, and personally, I don't, look, that's something that Bishop Nathaniel is about. And I see when he speaks about it, I look at the individuals around him, the leadership, they kind of turn their head, they kind of, like in their mind, I don't know, I don't see it. I just don't see it, but I'm not going to disrespect you. That's disorder, man. It speaks about rebuking an elder, but you have to have more than one to rebuke an elder. If an elder goes off, you got to rebuke him, man. If we were there, man, they would kick, if GMS members were there, we would get kicked out. They say, you guys over here in the front row, y'all got to leave. We don't want to deal with y'all. And that's what they did to us over 20 years ago. Shit, almost 25 years ago. They kicked us out because of the Cornelius thing. And then later, years later, Bishop Nathaniel, a lot of them guys fell off, a lot of them more breakups. Then they started teaching that Cornelius was an Israelite. Anytime Bishop Nate goes against the now members of the GMS, he's always going to be found wrong. He was found wrong with the Cornelius thing. Ask him, is Cornelius an Israelite? He said, yeah. If you were able to go back 26, 25 years and ask him the same thing, he said no. So he's wrong on the MOTB. He's dead wrong on the MOTB. He's dead wrong. The scriptures say the simple believeth every word. He's dead wrong. And this thing with the long hair, they're dead wrong. The scriptures that you couldn't pull, look, let me come back over to him. You couldn't do what this man, watch this video. Watch this video. You can go to the actual original video on IUIC, but this was put up, and I was watching the fight, but Berenga fight. It was about 12 o'clock, 12:30. I watched and I wanted to actually get up and do a video. And then I listened to it. I said, well, wait a minute, because precepts came to my mind. One was the shown that the Apostle Paul had to shown himself for the for this feast, and it was obvious. It doesn't say Passover, but it's obvious it was talking about the Passover. And when he says shown himself, it means to shave himself. Why did he shave himself? Because he took a vow. What is the only vow that when you break that vow, let me see. When you break that vow, give me a second. Let's see if I spelled this right. See here. Nope, I spelled that obviously wrong. Let me see. Let me try shave. That's not the word. shave. Okay, Numbers 6 and 9. I really want to read the whole chapter. Number 6 and 9. And if any man die suddenly by him, and he had defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head, and the day of his cleansing on the seventh day shall he shave it. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offering. So you just did, when you broke the vow of the Nazarene, you just didn't shave your hair and thought you burnt it. And the IUIC doesn't understand that. They say keep the law. They don't go into the law, man. And then these guys, they well, the guy admitted it. He said, man, getting you guys a shave, cut your hair off is like pulling teeth. Well, that means you're out of order. You look orderly on the outside, but on the inside is a hot mess. Anybody in Great Millstone that has long hair, we deem him to have long hair, he's out. If he don't shave his hair, he's out. So it's up to the leadership. The scriptures say, let everything be done decently and in order. There's a rank and file. Okay, let me do this. Them, and these are some of the precepts that the Karatazar of the Baltimore GMS camp pulled out. So I said, I really don't got it. He covered all the scriptures pretty much I was going to cover. It says, Acts 21, verse 24, them take and purify thyself with them and be at charge with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things wherein they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walketh. Well, oh, orderly. A man that has long hair is out of order, and keepeth the what? The law. It had nothing to do with feminine. He said, oh, they had long hair. Paul was saying the guys that had long hair were going off because it was feminine. No, he didn't say that. Then he jumps to, come on, hey, the simple believeth every word. Now let me take this word, keyword. Bear with me for a minute. Purify thyself. Bear with me for a minute. I'm almost positive because I heard it was in Acts. Let me do this. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm almost positive it's in Acts 15. Let's try this. I'm sorry again. Please forgive me. Paul shaved his head. Okay, 18, 18, 18 and 18. X 18. Go right to the point. And Paul, after this tarried there yet a good while, and then took his leave of the brethren, and sailed thence unto Syria, and with him Priscilla and Aquila, having shown his head in Sanchira, for he had a vow. Having shown his head. Go back to Numbers. So that meant that he had long hair. Why did he have long hair? Because it was under the vow of the Nazarene. Let's see if it says that. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. The Most High seeks for perfection, man, not just making shit up. We had, if you watch the after post camp class, the brother went off. The main brother that was speaking went off slightly, but he got corrected quickly. He went to Daniel the 8th chapter, where it was actually talking about Antiochus Epiphanes being punished by the Most High for coming up against the Prince of Princes. And he said, that's talking about the white. He was generalizing. So I said, no, let's go back. And he should have known better, but that's all right. That's why we have those classes, man. And every time we out there, we do those classes. This is what, the third class gathering. There's always one or two or a fleet of ships, and you can clearly see it. Brother put a video out on it, and you can see it on the camera, but the camera doesn't do it justice. I mean, it's way up there beyond the planes, and it just sits there, and then it'll disappear. So you can't say that it's stars. Stars don't sit up there and then disappear and then come back. Well, we've been out there for a couple number of years, and there's always ships out there. Let me see what I'm gonna do now. So this is about, you can't wing it. You cannot wing it. Either you know it or you don't know it. So it said, having shown his head for the what? For the vow. So these guys among the believers of Corinth, these men were coming in with long hair. They had women teaching. They had women equal unto men. They were committing adultery. 1 Corinthians. And see, this is something that these churches don't go into, man. That's why Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy and kill all the people in these churches, because they don't go deep into the law. You just come. Look, there's women that go up in the church on their period. There's adultery going on. That's a hot mess. Okay, bear me for a minute. I want to see what they say. I want to go to a short one. Okay, boom. Okay, right here. This is the one I want. Okay, this is Myers NT commentary. I guess that stands for New Testament commentary. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I caught something. You can read the whole thing if you want in your leisure. On the occasion of some circumstances unknown to us, perhaps under some distress in view of eventual deliverance, Paul had vowed to let his hair grow for a certain time. That's how now in the case of Samuel, the angel that spoke to his father Manoah told him, your son gonna be a Nazarite until death. In view of eventual deliverance, he had vowed to let his hair grow for a certain time. I'm sorry, let me read down, blah, blah, blah. The permitting the hair to grow is in the Nazarite state, according to Numbers, what? 6, verse 7. He shall not make himself unclean for his father. What does that mean? If his father dies, he can't go to his father's funeral. If his mother dies, same thing. Or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister. When they die. So if any of those guys in the IUIC that got that long hair claiming that we're under the law of Nazareth. If your mother dies, your father dies, your brother dies, your uncle died, you can't go to the funeral because you break the vow. And then if you break the vow, you have to cut your hair. So that's bullshit, man. Them guys are not under no vote. You can't come to the truth with long hair because of the galleys, and then you come into the truth and you don't want it. They tell you, look, you got to cut your hair short. No, I don't want to cut my hair short because, the hair is for the galleys. And then you just let them by. So you guys look like you're in order on the outside, but you're in disorder on the inside. So you say a lot of good things. You're a lot of the IUIC brothers. I've watched a lot of your videos. A lot of what you say is good, but you got it. The Most High is seeking for perfection, man. What precept did I open up with? It said die because, wait a minute. I just lost it. Die because the consecration of the Most High is on his head. I guarantee you, any of them guys have somebody close to them die, they're going to go to the funeral. It even quotes right here, 1 Corinthians 11, verse 7. What is that? Judges 16, verse 17. Let's see what that says. That he told her all his heart and said to her, there has not come a razor on my head, for I have been a Nazarite of the Most High from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me. Judges 16 and 17. And what happened? Samson broke the vow. The reason why Samson had long hair is because he was under the vow of the Nazarene. The reason why the Apostle Paul had the long hair and shaved it because he was under the law of the Nazarene. He took a vow. The difference was Samson did it for life. In Paul's case, he did it and then he broke the vow. And why did he break the vow? Because he had to go for the feast. The feast, you got to drink wine. Part of the vow is you can't drink wine. I guarantee you, if you go to the IUIC Passover, I guarantee you're going to have guys in there with long hair drinking wine. So they ain't as in order as you think they are. They just look like they're in order. Read Matthew 23. Therefore, let me do this. Indicates nothing at all extraordinary. and even the renewal of an interpreted Nazarite vow was bound to the temple. See Numbers 6 and 10. And on the 8th day, he shall bring two turtles or two young pigeons. A turtle dove, by the way, is a New York pigeon. You see them pigeons in New York? Those are turtle doves, all right? That's what you sacrifice with. To the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So Paul did that. They were still sacrificing. Even the believers, they were still sacrificing. So Sakari is right, but will it be sin sacrifice? The sacrifice was done away with by the Lord, sin sacrifice. In the kingdom, when we have our high holy days, Passover, we're going to have it in the same order. Which part of it with the lamb, killing of the lamb, is a sacrifice. You're going to say prayers while you kill the lamb. But is there going to be any a sacrifice for sin among Israel? No, because we're going to be perfect. So stop playing with the scriptures, man. So that's what the Apostle Paul meant. That's what it said in Acts 18 when it said he shown himself because he had to go to break that vow. Them guys in the IUIC that got long hair, they came in with the long hair. And they justify it by saying, well, I'm under the vow of the Nazarene. But then they'll go to the Passover and they'll drink some wine. They'll get drunk off the wine. So stop it, y'all. Stop it. You're making yourself look bad. And guess what? Vocab Malone is watching this and he's going to jump on it too. You guys go off on things. If you don't have if you come into this truth and your wife is not in the truth, you give it 6 months and whatever amount of time you give it. If she don't get it, you got to cut her off. That's clearly not scripture. Where's that in the scriptures? Where's that in the scriptures? Let's listen to a few words of this individual right here. Otherwise, this brother is he's a good teacher. He's a good teacher, but he's not. He's like Apollos. That's also it. Wait a minute. This is what these brothers need. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, let me go here. This is also in Acts 18. When you read, let me come back here. Let me go to, bear me for a minute. Let me go to Deuteronomy 6. Bear me for a minute. This is what I wanted. But you can read Deuteronomy 4, the 4th chapter. All talks about the laws, right? It says, Deuteronomy 6, verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them, the laws, when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, and thou shalt bind them, that's the phylacteries, for a sign upon, that's a physical thing, like the fringes, for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be a frontlet between thine eyes. That's the phylacteries. So, you know, the IUIC say they keep all the laws. Where's the phylacteries? The Passover, where's the sheep? You got the money for it, so come on, stop lying. Stop lying. Okay, so let me do this. Hope you can listen, pick this up. This is what the man said. Let me come back. Okay, let me come over here, and I hope you can hear it. I hope you can hear it. Let's try to listen. I'll speak, I'll say what he says, just in case you can't hear it. So listen up.
had long hair in the Bible? Who else had long hair in the Bible? This is why you got study. Somebody gonna get you on this. Had long hair. Who else? Once a year, and they wait. At, right? Raise your hand, please.
They're trying to justify, let me come back. 1 Corinthians 11:14. He's saying when Paul said that about man having long hair, if you're feminine, you have long hair. But if you're not feminine, you can have long hair. No, you just added to the scriptures. You're guilty of that. And the number one defenders of the gospel are, without a doubt, hands down, GMS. And these guys still stuck on stupid when it comes to the grape doctrine. And we made it crystal clear. And they don't know because, he made another statement, I think it's right around here, going overboard. He's suggesting that we're going overboard. Yeah, well, you're supposed to go overboard. You're supposed to study every word, not one jot or one tittle, so that no wise be, taken from the law. You know what I'm talking about, Matthew 5, verse 17, I believe. I'm positive. So let's just listen. I hope this is the spot. This is at 2:47, the 2:47 mark. The Most High Yahweh B'Shem Hawashai seekers for perfection. Read Ephesians, one of my favorite chapters, Ephesians chapter 4, that whole chapter, but go to about the 11th verse and read down to about the 14th, 15th verse. The Most High set up apostles. For the what? The prophets and teachers. For the what? For the perfecting of the saints, the other believers that come up under you, for the work of the ministry. Why do you perfect them? Because when you go out and teach, you got to get all the scriptures right. Eat this roll and go out and teach the children, the sons of Israel, right? You have an unction from the Holy One and you know all things. So he knows. IUIC got cut yet again. So let's move on.
Long hair. If he's effeminate, that it's a shame if a man have long hair. It is a shame unto him if he's doing what? If he's effeminate.
Oh, so you mean to tell me the church of Corinth had feminine men in the church? That's when you go to Romans chapter 1, it speaks about that. He curses out the Israelites in Rome for being effeminate. So you ain't gonna have, look, let me tell you something, man. If somebody came into your class and he was sitting down and he obviously had a feminine spirit on him, you're gonna let him in the class? You're gonna give him a purple and gold t-shirt with fringes on it? He just added to the word. He's guilty of adding to the word. He said if you got long hair, it means if you're no, Paul ain't gonna have no effeminate people. If you were effeminate, that's also too. With some of you, what does it say? I can't get the word in my mind. If I get the word, I'll get the scriptures. And it's in one of the Corinthians. It says, what some of you did in the past. I can't think of the wording, but if I can think of it, I can get. But I know it's in one of the 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. It'll come back to me once I get the word, and I'll get the precept. So he was saying that if you had men that were feminine, that if you repent, you can come into this truth and to this truth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So let's listen on. Matter of fact, let me bring this back a little bit.
He says, does not even nature itself teach you that it's a shame if a man have long hair? It is a shame unto him if he's doing what? If he's effeminate.
That's nowhere in 1 Corinthians 11, verse 14, or nowhere in 1 Corinthians, the chapter 11 chapter, nowhere in 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. One of the things that they were going off on is, I hope you heard all this. I hope you heard all this, because I had the mic from my mouth. But anyway, let me pick up over here. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High, but not be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor adulterers, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor users, abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, going out to clubs, nor extortioners come out from among them, nor shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. It's talking about Israelites, and it ain't right. For such are some of you. So he was saying that there was Israelites in the heathen way of life that were men laying with men and women laying with women. So Paul said, you got to stop that. It says, and such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Rakakwadash of Yahweh of the Lord Yahweh, and by the Spirit Rakakwadash of the Most High. So let's listen. I had the mic away from my mouth, so please forgive me.
Why? Why would he have to say that? Who names some people in the Bible that is a shame unto him if he himself teach you that it's a shame if a man have long hair? It is a shame unto him if he's doing what? If he's effeminate.
He went off. He just added to the scriptures. That's not talking about being effeminate. During that custom, you had Israelites who were following the Hellenistic ways, and part of the Hellenistic ways were where it was wearing a hat, dressing in the Greekish fashion, going to the place of exercise, not circumcising their children, and having long hair. Read about Homer and the Greek men with the long hair. Homer.
Why? Why would he have to say that? Who names some people in the Bible that had long hair? Raise your hand. Please. Let's call it out. Samson.
Why did Samson have long hair? Was it a fashion statement? And it wasn't, he didn't have locks. It was 7 braids, 7 locks. So he braided his hair up. Why did he have long hair? Oh, by the way, this brother right here is Nigerian actor. When they made this series on the Bible, they tried to give it some justice by certain characters in the Bible. The Israelites were actually black, and they couldn't get around the locks thing. But he went off, didn't have a scholar with him, so he said, "Oh, get a man dreadlocks." He really had 7 braids, 7 separate braids. And the reason why he had that hair, like, you know, his style was like that, because he was under the vow of the Nazarene. You guys in the IUIC that have long hair, you came in with the long hair, and it attracts women. If the whole new trend was, you know, women are totally into bald heads, then guess what? All you guys are shaved, and you ain't getting no play from no woman. All of a sudden, you're gonna shave your head bald. So stop it, IUIC, stop it. Let's listen on. So he went off right there.
Right? Anybody know anybody else?
He that is spiritual restores such a one in the spirit of meekness. So he's being restored. That's in book Galatians 5, if I'm not mistaken.
We always use Samson, but it was other people. Officer Samuel, who you got? Absalom, David's son.
That's a poor example. This guy was vain. Absalom was vain. Absalom committed, first of all, Absalom wanted to kill his own father. Absalom killed his brother. He was a loose cannon. Absalom had sex with David's concubines on the rooftop. And people knew about it. But people loved Absalom because they said he was the most beautiful man. He was like a perfect man. But guess what? His heart was wicked. Because even David, his father loved him, even though he was trying to kill his own father.
His hair was so long, he cut it once a year, and they weighed it. How?
Yeah, when you weigh it, the shekels, it added up to about 6 pounds. But he was a vain man. He was vain.
Heavy it was. Absalom, David's son, had long hair. Who else had long hair in the Bible? Who else had long hair in the Bible? Study. Somebody gonna get you on this. Why you got long hair, brother? You
know what? You know what he's doing? He's doing IUI. He's doing GMS. If GMS roll on you, they're gonna. That's why he said you got to study. And part of studying in the scriptures, you have to go to the root of the word, the etymology of the word, the hermeneutics of the word, which means you got to go to the root. So you got to know Hebrew. These guys don't get, although they're good, I give them credit. They teach very good, but they're not in perfection. You got to go into the Hebrew. You got to go into the Greek. You got to go into maps.
Oh, dang. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to cut my hair off. Now you brothers with them locks on. Woo! Lord, it's like pulling teeth to get you to cut your hair.
That's why they allow them to have long hair, which makes them out of order, which totally makes them out of order. They deem to be out of order because you got new guys that come in with long hair. You tell them, look, brother, you got to cut your hair. They're going to give you a hard time. They're going to come back. They ain't going to say nothing to you. And they're going to come back with the long hair. And then you're going to say, oh, just let them be. That's out of order. You guys look in order on the outside with the 1,000-man march and all the same garments. You look like, oh, I got to join. That's why you get so many people, because I got to join this. These guys are in order. No, they're in order on the outside. They're in order on the outside, not on the inside. Read Matthew, the book of Matthew, the 23rd chapter, from the first verse on down. And that's what the Lord said. You look clean on the outside, but inside of dead men's bones. So the Lord called for perfection. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Numbers chapter 6, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children.
They're trying to justify the fact that these guys come into this thing with long hair and they don't want to cut their hair because they're in the numbers. Excuse me. So let's listen on.
Of Israel, and say unto them, when either a man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord.
So they vowed a vow to be a Nazarite.
And by the way, when you read Numbers 6, the whole chapter, it says, matter of fact, let me go to it. Numbers 6. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Okay, let me start from 17 verse. This has all to do with the vow and breaking the vow as well. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice for peace offering unto the Lord Yahweh with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the 18th verse in Nazarite, right? So shave the head of his separation at the door of the, now before you go to what the Apostle Paul did in Acts, he shaved his head before he went to the feast because he was going to drink wine. You cannot drink wine. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go to grape. Okay, this is in the beginning. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the sons of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman, so that there's a vow, the vow of Nazarite applies to women too. When the woman break the vow, they got to shave too. So separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto Yahweh. He shall separate himself from what? From wine. So they can't go to the Passover unless they shave their head. So these guys that keep the vow, they got to come to Passover, they got to shave their hair long. They got to shave their hair. in order to partake of the Passover. That's why Paul did what he did. And strong drink. And shall drink no vinegar or wine or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. You can't have raisins. It says all the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels, the seeds, even to the husk. All the days of the vow of the separation, there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled. Go back to Acts 18 with the Apostle Paul. He's showing his head. And the which he separated himself unto Yahweh, he shall be holy and shall let the locks of his head grow long. In the case of Samson, they didn't have dreadlocks. They didn't have no dreadlocks. So you got guys, so let's say these guys in the IUIC are call themselves keeping their vows. You ain't supposed to have dreadlocks. That's a matted mess. And that's a custom of the heathens. 6th verse. And the days that he separated himself unto Yahweh, he shall come at no dead body. I read about coming, you can't come, if your father dies suddenly, you can't go before him because you defile yourself and you break the vow. You can't go before your mother. You can't go before your brother and your sister. Another thing that IUIC goes off on, they go to funeral. The only people that's supposed to bury a family member is the rest of the family. That's it. You didn't have no undertakers, back then. Keep the law, keep the law, keep the law. He shall not make himself unclean for his father or for his mother or for his sister when they die, because of the consecration of the Most High is upon his head. And the days of the separation, he is holy unto the Most High. And if any man dies suddenly by him, and he have defiled the head, you know what that means? And on the 8th day, he shall bring two turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest. Now, where's the priest in IUIC? To the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. The sin offerings, and there's not going to be any sin offerings in the kingdom among Israel, because we're going to be perfect, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead. That's that he defiled himself. So he broke the vow. So he got to cut his hair off and then wait a while and grow his hair back. And he shall consecrate unto Yahweh the days of the separation and shall bring a lamb. Do y'all got lambs? Before the Passover, do y'all take a lamb and sacrifice it? 2 turtle doves, 2 pigeons for the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost because his separation was what? Defiled. Can't have sex on the Sabbath. You defile yourself. Another thing that they go off on, 13, and this is the law of the Nazarite when the days of his separation are fulfilled. And that's what the Apostle Paul did according to the law. Remember, Paul was a Pharisee, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, as concerning the law of Pharisee. He was perfect in the law. He shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Where's the tabernacle of the congregation, IUIC? And he shall offer his offering unto Yahweh, 1 he lamb of the first year without blemish, offering, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the point. And a basket of unleavened bread. And the priest shall bring before the Lord, and his hair too. You got to burn his hair. That's part of the offering. None of them guys are doing that. And he shall offer the ram for a, how many you IUIC brothers got rams and goats and turtle doves in the back of your house? None of y'all. It says the scripture said in the Passover, you got to eat the pertinence of the guts of the lamb, the eyes, all that. That's what it says. And the Nazarite, so all this, I keep the law, you don't keep the law perfectly. You keep the law to the best of your ability. 18 verse, and the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle. Where's the IUIC door of the tabernacle? Where's the tabernacle? They got the money. And shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the what? In the fire, burn it. Which is, so come on, stop it with you dudes, you newer dudes with the long hair, the glorious long dreadlocks, or locks in the IUIC. You guys don't come into the truth and learn and have long hair. Oh, well, that means I'm a Nazarite. You didn't know nothing about no Nazarite, man. So why are you bringing that the number 6 up? It said the priest shall take the sergeant soul of the ram and the one unleavened cake out of the basket, blah blah blah. Nazarite separation is shaven, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering. The beast, and after that the Nazarite may drink. After that, 20th verse, number 6 verse 20. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. This is holy for the priest. We're the priest in the IUIC. With the wave breast and half shoulder, which is a sacrificial animal. And after that, the Nazarite may drink wine. So any of you guys that call yourself a Nazarite in IUIC and you go to the Passover with your long hair, you lying. 21st verse. This is the law of the Nazarite who have vowed and of his offering unto Yahweh for his separation. Beside that, his hand shall get according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of his separation. So you can't justify it by saying, well, these guys took a law of the Nazarite. Now let me do something. They ain't gonna teach you that in the damn churches. Let me see what Nazarite is written. This is about Samson, the vow of the Nazarite. Let's listen to a little bit more. And I'm gonna say this, the curtain is coming down on this system. A lot of you Israelites, your favorite cousins, your favorite uncles, your relatives, maybe some of your children, a lot of you are going to die. So get your mindset. Don't be surprised if you drive down the street and you see a dead body out on the road, because there's going to come a point where your local police will not come, and your EMS. There's one story of this one particular police department that they don't take all the calls. They just take the emergency calls because of the gas or affecting those police departments. This system is coming down. This system is crumbling. They said the gas, as of yesterday, Saturday, went up past $5 as a national average, and it kept going up and up and up and up. It went down a little bit 2 months ago, and it kept going right up. And like these app-based businesses, Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and stuff. A lot of these, there's strikes going on. Not, well, what is that? Strikes. Yeah, strikes going on because of the gas. And they're not, and the Uber's not raising the price. Matter of fact, they're bringing down the prices. So, you know, like I said, I've been working all year. This last month, I worked maybe 3 weeks because of the freaking gas. I said all my profit is being eaten up by gas. Then I try to go out again, you know. So people that they're talking about Uber and Lyft and these app-based businesses that you got to drive around in a car. They're gonna all crash. Ain't nobody working for nothing. People work so they can get paid, so they can pay the bills. Everything's going up across the board. Why? This is the fulfillment of the scriptures. To name a few scriptures, second Ezra 15, second Ezra 16, just to name a few. Revelation chapter 6, the black horse. A measure of wheat for a barley, and a measure of wheat for a penny, and a measure of barley for a penny, and a penny represented the denarius, which is a day's wages. So we told them, brothers, yesterday, if you can stock up a little bit, go ahead and stock up, just for the sake of you can't get the food maybe in 2 months, or if you find what you need, the prices might double, triple, quadruple, go up 100-fold, 200-fold. That's called hyperinflation. This system is crashing, and many people will die. People close to you will die. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Right? Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head.
So he's justifying the fact that these guys didn't have long hair. These guys are not under guarantee. These guys are not under a vow of the Nazarite. They just want to have long hair for the galleys. And even in GMS, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Any brother got long hair and braids and crazy looking braids, you either cut your hair or leave.
So if you don't cut your hair all the days of your life as under this Nazarite vow, what happens?
You can't go to the Passover. You can't go to the Passover. So everybody, if I go to a video on IUIC Passover, matter of fact, let me do that. Let me do that. The Most High seeks perfection. IUIC Passover 2022. Okay. Somebody put it there. IUIC's Passover was a disgrace. The Passover is serious. Oh, they got the full moon is a new moon. They're clearly going off. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, let me go here. Okay. Okay, now check this out. This guy's a man. He got long hair. He gonna sit down and have some lamb, and he gonna drink some wine. He's not under the law of the vow of Nazarite. He just likes having long hair because it's sexy. Okay, I give it to the leadership. They don't have long hair. They got beards on their faces. But when I see stuff like this, I think about keep the bishop's name out of your mouth. I met him. He was a part of our original school back in the day in Connecticut. Come on now. Come on, take the spotlight off y'all. Let me see these brothers. Like I said, if you encounter anybody in the IUIC, you say shalom, talk to them. But then if you got time, you go into this discussion. You have an argument, a friendly argument, and in meekness. The hell happened? Okay, it's hard to catch. Okay, I only caught one with the long hair, but let me do this. Well, that was during the Passover. Like I said, the leadership, they don't have long hair. And like the brother said, I forget the brother. I believe this brother's name is Officer Joel, if I'm not mistaken. No, not Joel. That's the other brother. But he clearly went off. It says the simple believeth every word. So the people out there that's not raising their hands and saying, well, wait a minute, because they're learning. They're getting the IUIC doctrine, not the true doctrine. So now let me do this. And I'm gonna close. I went a little bit long. Perfection. Let's deal with the word perfection. The Most High calls for perfecting, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, right? Job 11, verse 7. Canst thou be by searching, find out the Most High? Canst thou find out the Almighty unto perfection? Well, that's what we're doing. Job 15, verse 29. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue. We know who this is talking about. Neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof upon the earth. That's Esau. At one time, he looked perfect. You go to certain areas, Esau got his thing perfect. Got the police, he got everything perfect. But he's losing his perfection. Let's see what this says. Job 28, verse 3. He setteth an end of darkness, right? Because the light is coming out through the preaching, which in part is IUIC. They are teaching people that they're Israelites, the 12 tribes, and so they teach a lot of the same thing that we teach. They go off on a few things. And searches out all what? Ooh, and searches out all perfection. The Most High called for perfection. The stones of darkness and the shadow of death. Psalms 23, the valley of the shadow of death. There's another one in Job. Let me go to that. I believe it's either Job 21 and 10 or Job 10 and 21. Let's see. Job 10 and 21. And the future of you so-called Edomites that watch our videos, your future is, if you're an Edomite, not a white man, you got white people in Israel. It's the spirit that you're judged by. Okay, here it is. Job 10, verse 21. I'll go right to the point. 21st verse. Before I go, I should have been carried from the womb to the grave. Job in the woe me spirit. Are not my days few? Cease then and let me alone, that I may take comfort a little. Because when you die, you're comforted. Isaiah 57. Before I go hence, I shall not return, which is death. But this is a double meaning. Even the land of darkness and the shadow of death. Did not King David speak about the shadow of death in Psalms 23? It says the land. That's a physical. When you look that word up, I believe the word is aratazah. Aratazah. Let's find out. Yeah, aratazah. Aratazah. It means the land. That's why you got to go into that Hebrew. It says, before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness, that's America, and the shadow of death. Let me take out the shadow of death. I want to show you something. Psalm 23, verse 4, yeah, though I walk through the valley, which is the lowland, which is the US, Babylon, of the shadow of death. What does it mean by a shadow of death? That your shadow is right behind you, depending on where the light is hitting you, your shadow is behind you, and it's looks taller than you because of the way the light hits your body. So the shadow of death, meaning that death is right around the corner. That's a fulfillment of Deuteronomy chapter 28, round about 60 some odd, 64 verse, somewhere it speaks about the scattered. It said, in the morning, thou shalt say, would to the Most High, I make it to the evening. I'm paraphrasing. And in the evening, thou shalt say, would to the Most High, make it to the morning. Esau doesn't say that. They don't die like other men. Psalms, was that 73? They say, yea, this is Paul, David speaking, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. The shadow of the valley of the shadow of death is Babylon the Great. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Oh, I like this one. This is a new one. Psalms 44, verse 19. You can use this in your teachings. When you go into the dragon in Revelation 12, this is what it says. Psalm 44, verse 19. Though thou hast sore broken us in the place of dragons, is not this the place of dragons? And covered us with the shadow of death. That's Babylon. We're in the place of dragons and we're under the shadow of death. David says the valley of the shadow of death. Valley means low land. This is a morally low land. Sodom and Egypt. Ooh, Psalms 107, verse 10. Such as sit in darkness. Jacob's sitting in darkness. The ones of you that wake up to the fact that you're Israelites, you see the light. And in the shadow of death, that's Babylon. Being bound, are we bound? When we first got over here, we were bound by shackles, right? Now we're being bound with paperwork. See, Esau has jurisdiction on you because he's got paperwork on you. In afflictions and iron. We first came over here in iron. Now we're just being afflicted. We have iron yokes upon us. Now we have paper yokes upon us. Psalms 107, verse 14, he brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death and break their hands in sunder. Hands represent power. The Most High is going to deliver us and you're going to break Esau's hands. You're going to break the power's hands. Isaiah 9, verse 2, the people that walked in darkness, that's us, have seen a great light. That's this truth. That's why these churches are in an uproar because they're losing members every day, because that church don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. When we teach the scriptures, and I'm not talking about GMS, but all of them, we teach the truth that we're the Israelites. That's why, Jake, you got a lot of pastors and ministers that are becoming Israelites now, or following the ways of Israel. They that dwell in the land of what? The shadow of death upon them, that the light shine. So that's Ezekiel 37, coming to pass, exceeding great army, not a physical army with guns. You Homo sapiens and your guns. Right here, Luke 1 verse 79, to give light to them, the elect of Israel, that sit in darkness, because we all sat in darkness, and in the shadow of death, as Babylon the Great, to guide our feet unto the way of peace. These are you can do a whole subject just on this term right here, this phrase, shadow of death. And we all know what that's talking about. So let's come back to perfection. I'm gonna close it. I went a little long. If you want to turn it off, do what you want to do, you go ahead. Psalm 50 verse 2, out of Zion, the perfection of beauty. Perfection means what? 100% perfect. You have an unction from the Holy One and you know all things. An unction meaning anointing. The Most High have shine. Psalms 119 verse 96, I have seen an end of all perfection, but that commandment is exceedingly broad. Isaiah 47 verse 9, let's see what that says. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. That's talking about the rulership. Who's ruling right now? What nation is ruling right now? The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection. When the angels come, they're coming in their perfection. There ain't gonna be no chariots crashing, running out of gas. For the multitude of thy sorceries, thy wickedness, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. The super elite all worship the spiritual demon Satan in one form or another. Psalms 2 verse 15, they were happy when we were taken down. Lamentation 2 verse 15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their heads at the daughter of Jerusalem. The daughter of Jerusalem represents the Israelites, men and women, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? So they were happy that we went down, but guess what? They see us coming down. That's why they have great fear in their heart. Revelation 11. It says, thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, because you're supposed to discover their iniquity. See what IUI is doing with the long hair thing, justifying it is an iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens of causes of banishment. And all that pass by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag. They're happy that we're down in the bottom, but they see us rising up. And especially they lose sleep over the fact that they see them camps out there in videos. Wag their heads at the daughter of Jerusalem, which represents all of Israel, men and women, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty? What makes us perfect? The scriptures, the whole word, the joy of the whole earth. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up, the Israelites. Certainly, this is the day that we looked for we have found, we have seen it. So they were happy when we went down. Did not in Revelation 11 chapter, did not they send gift one to another? That's talking about slavery. They have to pay for captivity. He that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You put us in captivity, you're going to go into captivity. True reparations is to put your enemies into captivity, not no check. A check ain't good enough. I don't give a damn if it's $1 billion on it or for each Jake, which you don't have. 2 Corinthians 13, verse 9, I'm almost done. For we are glad when we are weak. For we are glad when we are weak, and ye are strong. And this also we wish, even your perfection. So is the IUIC perfect? No. Is the GMS perfect? Yes, we deal with everything perfect. If we go off on something, we omit it. For you guys to justify that long hair thing, you're clearly going off. Hebrews 6, verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of the Messiah, let us go on unto what? Perfection. Not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith towards the Most High. So is the IUIC perfect? They're good, but they're not perfect. And they better, IUIC and ICPK, they better start teaching about the charagma, because when they set up them charagma stations, you're gonna have a lot of your people bugging the hell out. What do we do? Bishop Nathaniel, do we take it or do we not? And he might say, no, you shouldn't take it. Why? Where is that in the scriptures? Well, he would have to tell the truth or keep the lie going. This is the last one, Hebrews 7, verse 11. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest, ultimately Yahushua is the chief high priest, should rise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? Because when Melchizedek, which is Yahushua, was over Aaron in the priesthood. Okay, let's go here. Let's pull out. Now, this one I put in perfect, right? Bear me for a minute. And there's, let me see something. There's like, I think 200 writers. No, I'm sorry, it's 94 times, almost 100 times. So obviously, I'm not going to read all these precepts. Most High seeks perfection. Job 1:1. Job was perfect and upright. Job 36, verse 4. For truly my words shall not be false. You know, you saying that a man could have, and a brother said, it's like pulling teeth trying to get you guys to cut your hair, because they telling you to cut your hair. Like the leadership in IUIC, they got short hair. So I figured that if somebody coming with the lock, you tell them, look, you got to cut that hair, and they don't do it, and you just say, okay, let him do what he want to do. Well, guess what? He was out of order. Scriptures say, obey them that have the rule over thee. It said, for truly my words shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with me. Ooh, so who is with the Most High? Job 36, verse 4. For truly my words shall not be false. He that is perfect in knowledge is with me. So who's perfect in knowledge? The Most High is perfect in knowledge. And we have to be perfect in knowledge. The Most High seeks for perfection. Let's pull out the word perfect. And like I said, IUIC is not perfect. They're off on certain things. Look up the word perfect in the Hebrew. Thamayum. Yeah, the Urim and the Thummim. Complete, whole, entire, sound, complete. You go to the store, right? They say you buy this box of whatever, and it says on the box there's 20 pieces in there. You open up the box and there's 16 pieces. What you gonna do? You gonna take it back to the store? You say, no, give me my money back. It says whole, entire, whole, sound, healthful, complete, entire, sound doctrine, wholesome, unimpaired, look that up, innocent, look that up, having integrity. See, IUIC lacks integrity because they're not in order. They like to make you think that they're in order, but they're not in order. What is complete or entirely in accord or in accordance with truth and fact, with truth and fact. What is a fact? Something that cannot be disputed. So for this man to come and make the statements that he made, he's clearly going off. And this goes on him and it goes on his leadership. They're not perfect. The Most High seeks for perfection. I'm gonna say this again. Don't be surprised if you see dead bodies on the street. The fire departments are not gonna go to every fire. They're gonna let it burn. That Uvalde or whatever that place is in Texas, what happened with the police over there? There was a police station in the school. The chief police, which is an Issacharite, he didn't have his radio with him. He didn't give no orders to go in. You had police officers that had their children in the school. They would go into the school, get their children, and leave with their children. You had police having parents couldn't get into the school, so it was complete chaos, man. So that's what's going to happen, man. The Supreme Court said on more than one occasion, the police have no duty to protect you. So there's going to be a time where you're going to call on the police ain't going to come. And they don't come in the hood anyway. Don't come in the hood anyway. I know that for a fact. Let me read Job 22, verse 3. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty that thou art righteous? Or is it gain to him that thou maketh thy ways perfect? So everything got to be perfect. Is IUIC perfect? No. IUIC is not perfect. Psalms 18, verse 30. As for the Most High, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried, tested. IUIC is being tested right now. Next week, ISUPK could be tested. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. Maketh my ways perfect. The law of the Lord is perfect. Mark the perfect man. Psalm 64, you got to read that whole chapter in 4. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. That's the elite. So there's many precepts on the word perfect. I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. Most High seeketh perfection, calleth for perfection. Proverbs 11, verse 5, the righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. So you got to teach the people perfectly, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. There's a reason why the word perfect and perfection is in the scriptures so much. Matthew 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, talking to us, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So you teaching some wayward doctrine, man. You ain't perfect. Ephesians 4, verse 13, you can start at 11. Really, you can read the whole chapter. Till we all come in the unity. I got to go up to 11 verse. One of my favorite precepts. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints. So when you have somebody saying that they can have long hair as a man, and then you justify it by going to number 6, you clearly going off. You're clearly not perfect. For the perfecting of the saints, for the what? For the work of the ministry. You just can't give it to anybody that's not going to teach it. You got to teach it and know that they're going to teach others. That's what Paul told Timothy. For the edifying of the what? Of the body, the rest of the elect of Israel. Till we all come in the unity of the faith, so that we all speak the same, teach the same thing, or speak the same thing, and of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, Yahushua, and his name is not Christ. If IUIC was serious about the Most High, they would change the name and they'd say, take the C out. Unto a perfect man. What does the word perfect mean? 100% perfect, no flaws in him. The Passover lamb had to be a male lamb of one year, without blemish, meaning perfect, unto the measure of the statute of the fullness of Yahushua. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carry about with every wind of doctrine. That's a wind of doctrine. The charagma is an embargo. That's a wind of doctrine. By the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. And that's what they're doing. This man right here is deceiving. And the leadership approves of that. This man is clearly deceiving the people. And the people that are listening to him and not raising their hand or in protest, because they're new people and they're simple. The simple believeth every word. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one.